Hi, I'm Ryan McCord, staff to JLARC. We recently evaluated the local infrastructure financing tool known as LIFT. LIFT was enacted in 2006 to invest state funds into local infrastructure projects. LIFT is based on a premise that investments in public infrastructure will attract private development and increase economic activity. The economic activity is assumed to generate tax revenue that meets or exceeds the state's contribution. 9 cities were selected to participate in LIFT. Each city established a Revenue Development Area, or RDA, which is a geographic area where the city makes infrastructure investments. The participating cities reported spending $166 million on public infrastructure improvements and have received $41 million in state contributions. Examples of the improvements include the realignment of Highway 522 in Bothell and development of an east-west corridor in Yakima to connect it to Terrace Heights. Transportation projects make up 75% of the total amount spent. We compared changes in economic indicators in each revenue development area to the parts of the cities outside the RDAs. Employment in 7 of the active RDAs grew more than in the city's non-RDA areas from 2013 to 2018. 4 more indicators also showed more growth in most RDAs. While we were able to measure the changes in these indicators, there is no feasible method to determine the extent to which LIFT drove those changes. We also used an economic modeling tool to estimate the impact LIFT may have had on employment. We modeled 3 scenarios, each one using different assumptions about the extent to which LIFT caused the cities to make public infrastructure investments. The model results range from a net loss of 60 jobs to a net gain of 300 jobs, depending on how much of the city's infrastructure investments we assume was caused by LIFT. There's no evidence to tell which, if any, of these scenarios is correct. These scenarios estimate short-term impacts from construction. Attempting to measure long-term impacts and associating them with LIFT would be challenging and require cities to collect detailed information that is not available, such as changes in traffic patterns. As a result, it is unlikely that there will be sufficient evidence in 2028 to support an audit recommendation about future expansion of the program. Each participating LIFT city is required to submit an annual report to the Department of Revenue and Community Economic Revitalization Board, known as CURB. The Department of Revenue uses the information in the reports to determine how much money the state will distribute to each city the following year. Absent formal guidance, each city has developed its own methods of reporting. We found errors in the annual reports of most cities in most years. Those findings led us to one legislative auditor recommendation. The Department of Revenue and CURB should work with participating cities to clarify the annual reporting form, standardize calculation methods, and provide training or instructions to avoid reporting errors in the future. Please see our website for more information.